Good morning, people. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Spirit Journey. Hey, how are you? Yeah, up for a while now. Today is Saturday, June 7th, 2025, and the time now is 5:28 a.m. in the morning. Wow. As I call this live stream, they call it MOLKA. Yeah, learned a new term just now. Wow. That's all I can say. I'm just wow, wow, wow. It seems like some perversions are universal. Very sad to hear that. Yeah, I want to talk about a sensitive topic. I mean, they have it all in America now, where I'm from. Yes, many of you know that I no longer live in America for a year and a half now. Can't believe it. I'm well. And Lavi's doing okay. Lavi's my little dog. He's still, you know, trying to get him stronger. He's still fragile. It is what it is. But I want to talk about a subject called MOLKA. Um, just learned of the term from a video I just finished watching. It's a documentary, a news report in Korea, South Korea. I don't know much about Korea. Um, I had a friend from high school from Korea. She was half. She was born in Korea after actually. Um, she was half Korean, but born in Korea, and her father was a white American military, and she lived there for she was born there, and then I guess when he got out of the service, he was able to take his new family, and they moved to America. Um, she was a nice lady. Boy, it's been over 50 years. Um, yeah, I don't know much about Asia. Sometimes we watch, we may watch movies. I'm always fascinated with countries that seem so far away. Um, I never really felt comfortable in the country of my birth. Yeah, I was born and raised in America, uh, born in New York City, in Queens, New York. And I guess the racial climate made it difficult. And if you have a sensitive personality like myself, I'm very sensitive. And raised in a large family and being the youngest um, and one of the few females, I guess things get even more sensitive, you know, being the youngest, being the smallest, being female. I think that would attribute it to my sensitivity, um, feeling like a foreigner, feeling like I don't belong, even though I'm born and raised in America. But being someone who's the grandchild of immigrants, that component, uh, I think it was a big component to it. Um, so your accent's not exactly like what so-called black people supposed to sound like. Oops, sorry. My screen went black. Sorry, I have to remind myself to touch the screen because it's thinking that it's dormant, so I was gonna, you know, do that. Apologize. So, so it added to my sensitivity and trying to navigate in the world, navigate where I belong, where I fit in. Um, so I met, let's see, I would say junior high school, where I really was meeting internationally all these different type of people. Yeah, I didn't like junior high school. Um, I was, I mean, I kind of going off the topic, but it just to, I think, understand where I'm coming from regarding MOLKA and the shock value behind it. Because I think I always hoped that there was a perfect place out there for me and for other sensitive, especially sensitive women out there. Um, yeah, junior high school was my, yeah, I was introduced to people from all over the world. The junior high school was located, in Queens. I'm not going to give the name, but it was in Queens, and it was in an area in the center of all these neighborhoods. She had black neighborhoods. She had Asian neighborhoods, new immigrants usually. You had Hispanics, many of them immigrants. You had whites, you had Jews, and we were all in the same boat. Yeah, it was a mess. I didn't like. I hated junior high school. A lot of violence, and unfortunately, the violence were from people from my so-called black community. Yeah, this was during the 1970s, and I think I understand it at this time that in the 70s is after all this violent times with the Civil Rights Act and the uh, women's rights and all that. Um, everything all rolled up in one, and then we're the offsprings from this generation of people who suffered under um, Jim Crow laws, women's rights, uh, new immigration that was happening because the U.S. had banned certain countries to move to America. And I think the 70s was when the gates were open and people were coming to America in droves. Yeah. So I guess under that um, environment, I had to navigate. And high school was a little bit, I loved high school. Yeah. I remember telling my father at that time, if I have to go to that school, this particular high school, yeah, I was zoned to go to this particular high school. And it was known as the bad school. I'm not going to give the name, but it was a bad school, known as the bad school. Bad people go there. And some of the people that I knew from my junior high school going there, and I had so-called friends at the time that's going to another location, and I wanted to go where they were going. And I remember saying, I don't want to, if I have to go to such and such school, I won't go. And I just, I was very quiet back then, but I was just, I think, in a state of frustration. I remember I was in the living room at the time, and my father was in the room. He didn't say anything. He didn't verbalize back to my comment, but I think he knew that I was serious. I never spoke that way before, but it it helped me, and I was brought. My father made the arrangements, and I got to me and someone else was able to go to that other high school, and I loved it. It was the best 4 years, I would say. There was some minor problems in the school, an incident, but it just happened, I think, 2 days or something. That was it. They didn't bother me after that. Yeah, you had some of the thugs that were able to go to that school that came there. But I think by that time, with the thugs, you know, you don't last too long in high school. By that time, the girls get pregnant and they got to drop out and all that. And it's like, you know, it's like a relief when the bullies. Not that I'm not promoting anything negative upon someone, but when someone frightens you, any relief of them not going is a blessing. That's all I'm saying. But either way, it's really not about that. This live stream is about MOLKA. But I mentioned my background because my sensitivity and fear. I lived in fear as a child and a severe identity crisis as a result. So I think I always wished that there was somewhere might have been a perfect place for me, that there's somewhere on the world where everybody's happy and smiling and things like that. And when I got into college, I remember the posters. Go to Europe. Yeah, back then was Europe, 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 and some of them was Egypt. I remember seeing that. That boy, those were expensive. Yeah, a lot of money it cost to go there. Um, yeah, I never had that kind of money to go. At that time when I first started college, yeah, that was in 1980. I entered college and got my first little job. Yeah, I worked part time, 19 hours a week, and went to school full time. But I wasn't doing well. I think I'm just so interested in what's out there in life and what, whoops, I didn't know the world. And I think when I look at those posters and thinking, wow, I want to go there, I want to go there. And I'm thinking, in hope that there's another place in the world that will be perfect, and I'm just a curious person. But I realized meeting people at this time, the early 80s, from all over I remember I met someone from Egypt. I remember, yeah, meeting a lot of French people. Back then, people from France, mainland France, would come to America as students. And yeah, they'll hook up with so-called racial minorities and live in their neighborhoods. And so they can kind of like stay in, they got a place to stay. So, MOLKA, what is MOLKA? Okay, MOLKA is a term in Korea. Your Korea has, I hope the audio's working well. But yeah, I just learned of an ugly thing. And again, I'm thinking that somewhere in this planet might be a perfect place. That's perfect people and everybody's smiling. And it's not the case. So here as someone in their 60s, still hoping there's a perfect place. Well, there's no perfect place. Again, I'm reminded, MOLKA, what is MOLKA? Well, I was just watching a video and they have a Diddy thing. Oh, wow. The K-pop, Korean pop, I guess is for short. In Korea, they have a pop music scene. I learned that also Korea is a very modern place. Wow. They got a lot of people there, man. A lot of people, boy. They have a very young culture there. I think that a lot of people there are young, under a certain age. They got a very young culture, driven culture. A lot of young people, and they have a music scene in Korea. Yeah, I think I've also been, I'm reminded that I had talked to someone a couple of years back. Oh yeah, it'd be about 16 years ago. I talked to someone who was sharing with me that they wanted to go to Korea and be and go into music there. And I said, yeah, go for it. Um, but wow, that was like 16 years ago. Um, but finding out from a video I just watched a moment ago, this thing called MOLKA in the K-pop culture there. Yeah, they were showing what's going on in the K-pop. And being an outsider, never been to Asia. I mean, um, never been to East Asia. Um, you see the bright lights and tons of young people all dressed up, beautiful smiles and everything. And then they showed like an audience of people at a concert. Yeah, they have concerts in Korea with thousands, thousands of young girls. And learning from this documentary that there is some seedy things happening in the K-pop scene in Korea, just like what's happening in America. There's a trial going on. Sean Puffy Combs is on trial. I've heard of him, of course, for years. And I just, in my opinion, I never thought highly of him. I did not follow the hip hop culture or rap scene at all. Again, I had a identity crisis, didn't know who I was. And but I wasn't attracted to that culture because it showed the worst of the black culture in America. It showed violence. It showed um, things against women. It objectified women, and I felt objectified. I was objectified as a child. I didn't like that, so I took it personal. Um, again, under racism, the rap scene. I remember being mocked when I walked past a construction site, and this young man is heckling me, white guy, construction worker, young guy, was heckling me and singing this tune from this then famous rap artist. Um, it always bothered me. Yeah, and he changed the lyrics a little bit and was calling me a pejorative name against women. I didn't like that, but I felt shamed, and I hated the rap music scene because I felt at the time, this was in the 1990s, early 90s, like 90, must have been 90. I say I came back to New York in 93, so sometime around, I think around 93, 94, this was being done. And so that, what do you call that, gangster rap was underway. So I always felt shame and hated the the rap culture scene because I felt it um, dehumanize black black people, myself. So I hated it. So either way, going back on the track around the K-pop, um, they were showing, you know, I see now like the document showing that what's happening in America, like what's allegedly has happened with Diddy. Well, Diddy is on trial right now. You know, the past. I think this was the fourth week that was completed. So next week would be the beginning of the fifth week. And yes, Diddy, P Diddy, Sean, Puffy Combs, many different names he's known by, is being on trial for um, an enterprise. He's uh, being investigated for how do you word this? Like what do you call it? I forget the terminology, but his corporation he is doing things, committing crimes. So it's not just allegedly the SA crimes against men and women, but it was a whole enterprise and trafficking and the alleged drugs and all that. All these are so-called alleged, okay, because he's innocent until proven guilty. Oh, I can hear the little birdies outside now. Yeah, it's morning. It's 5:49 a.m. Yes, it's very beautiful. But either way, so he's on trial right now for allegedly doing horrible things to people and women in particular. And there was a video that was released last year, I think it was, um, early last year, of him assaulting a woman, Cassie Ventura, named Cassie Ventura, um, and roughing her up, kicking her while she was on the ground. He allegedly did horrible things to her, um, drugging her, and orgies. Well, I call it orgies, or a menage a trois, threesomes. Um, but it was extreme violence that was done against that woman. And other people come forward of what they knew about it, what they saw, or what happened to them. Um, yeah, it's not the first time to hear that women, primarily women, are being drugged. They put a Mickey, we call it a Mickey in their drink, or they get them drunk so that they could be incapacitated and to be forced to do, oops, sorry. Sorry about that. My phone just forgot to touch the screen. Yeah, there are women and men that are being SA'd while under the influence of a substance. These substances um, put them under unconscious, and it makes them lose their memory while they're being SA'd and on camera. Was done on camera. Oh my goodness. And these videos that are taken of these victims, yes, they're victims, many female victims and male victims too, but primarily women. And they're objectified. Sometimes they're gang SA'd, multiple men doing this upon an individual who's incapacitated, unconscious, and it's done to humiliate them. And I was shocked. My bubble again broke. That there again is another evil place in the world. and there's really no safety, especially for women. Yeah, it was so weird about this. Well, as I was watching this thing called MOLKA, yeah, so to be SA'd while you're under the influence of a drug to make you unconscious and being SA'd by one or more people is called MOLKA. Yes. And they do it in America, as we see, like the Bill Cosby trial that was a couple of years ago. Yeah, this thing is very common. And when I'm learning, this is worldwide, a worldwide account to be violated like such. It's like they all read the same handbook, if there's such a handbook, to do acts of evil upon innocents. And it doesn't matter if the lady likes the guy, these pop stars, like they're musicians and they sing pop music and they have their fans. And they were showing that, like there was a nightclub, and it was an infamous nightclub in Korea. And they were pointing out, they said, okay, you had the so called VIPs, they're usually rich men, and they will point out ahead of time what woman they want to violate. They'll point them out. They would do things to try to get them drunk so they could humiliate them. One lady, one victim was saying that she had two drinks and she was with a friend, another female friend, and they go to the bathroom. That's a phenomenon also. I remember hearing about in America that at clubs, women are constantly going to the bathroom and they go with their buddy, their girlfriend, and they go in the bathroom and then come back together. Well, what's happening? Women are sharing what's happening to them. They could talk about the guy they like or whatever. They want to, you know, just kind of because we women are very emotional, and we have to when we have when we experience certain emotions, we have to race to the bathroom and tell our friends about what they experience. And women have to experience, verbalize what they experience in private, and then they come back and continue whatever what they want to do. But in this case, this horrible, horrible case, the two ladies go to the bathroom and they say one lady said, the young lady say, hey, I feel funny. I'm how could I be drunk? I had two drinks, but I'm not feeling well. She wasn't feeling well. Well, something happens. She blacks out, and then she awakened, and she's in a room with a man, and the man is sitting on her, and she's screaming, 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 pleading to get out, just for the guy to stop. He was hurting her, and she couldn't fight back. He was bigger, and she was violated. She goes to the police. Oh, almost forgot. Important issue, and also why I'm sharing this because I want women to wake up. I know I'm long-winded, as I see it's already on 29 minutes. Yes, I am long-winded. You guys all know that, but I always get to the point. And it's just how my brain processes it, because sometimes it's hard for me to process the reality of what's going on. It just takes me a while to conceptualize it and to explain it. That's what's happening. So after the evil was done upon her, um, she she is forced to. The guy said, "I want to take a picture of you." And she didn't want to take a picture. So, but he said, you can't leave until let me have a picture of you smiling. And he said for her to do the peace sign, something like that. And then she was able to go. He took the picture. Well, she went to the police. And then when they interviewed the man, the authorities, oh, it was consensual. See, this is a photo of her, smiling, giving me the peace sign. And then they let him go. Ladies, 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 I am so sorry this evil being done to you. Yeah, when I learn of things, I share with other ladies. And ladies, you gotta speak out to your tell your friends, tell your daughters, tell your nieces, tell. Warn other females. The dangers when you go to these clubs. Yeah. Um, the guy got off. And wasn't able. He didn't go to prison because it's his word against hers, and it is a humiliation. And then they also put these videos, in the internet. They upload it to some, they share with friends, so-called friends, this evil that's done, just like what they did in America, allegedly what Diddy did. Yeah, it is evidently worldwide. This sexual perversion that's being done primarily against women and men, it does happen to men too. Evil that's being done. Well, there was another case, that happened some years back in Korea, South Korea, and yeah, this pop star in Korea had this. He was videotaping the assault, and this girl was gang essayed, and they're brazen about it. And what's shocking me, so again, I have to realize, you can't go by looks. They look like, in my opinion, these look like children to me. Like some people, they're smaller. Like Americans, so-called Americans, tend to be big, tall. They look older, and the parts of Asia, they're very tiny in size, and they have a small round face, and I associate a small round face like a child. Okay, they look like kids to me, but these are adults. Some of them, young adults, but they look young in Asia. That's also why a lot of people from so-called Western countries go to Asia because they look like children. They're tinier than European, people of European extract, and they were putting it up. They were texting each other, sharing their content. It just, I look at them. I mean, they're Koreans in New York. Yeah, they have a Koreatown in Manhattan. They have a lot of enterprise, a lot of shops, and this Korea, South Korea, it looked like a mega city. It looked modern. They were in Western clothes. Um, a lot. That's all you saw. Looked like everybody looked like under the age of 25. They looked young, but they have a culture, this youth culture, K-pop culture, and these clubs. They're clubs. It's not. It wasn't just that one club that did it, but you have other clubs, and they prey on women, and they drug them, and they do horrific things, and they put it out on the internet, these assaults. There was a reporter also, a female reporter, during this time, and she had gotten privy to information. And again, it's showing me again about human nature, the evil that it's universal, it seems. Well, they trashed that female reporter, and they even said, "Oh, you woman's liber." Oh no, I'm sorry, term feminists. Oh, the feminists are about this, and I was shocked to hear that. That here women are being assaulted while under the influence by these men and videotaped. And when it was being exposed initially some years ago, the woman's reputation, the female reporter's reputation was being assaulted. She was being threatened with phone calls throughout the night, early morning, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, people calling her house. She had, this reporter, female reporter, had a miscarriage, I think 2 miscarriages because of the stress. She didn't want to tell her husband what was going on with the phone, with the, I guess maybe, you know, she didn't, she just, I don't know what she must have told her, but she didn't tell him about the investigation. She was investigating the MOLKA, the MOLKA crime. That's what they call it in Korea, MOLKA, MOLKA. Um, they trashed her, called her a feminist. That's a bad word. And I don't understand that talk, that someone is investigating. Why are you making it that, like, he against her? That the report is only exposing what an event that happened to a woman and a specific rock star, pop star that allegedly did this. It was she was specific about the the K-pop star that did this violation against a woman. And see that how it goes, you know. And it reminds me of someone saying, "Oh, you're setting me up." You said, people. Sometimes when you hear these people say, "I'm being set up," that's a smoke screen. Something like that was told to me before. "Oh, you're setting me up." How wrong it is. It's hard out there. It is hard being a woman. It's hard being a woman and you want to live with the dignity, you know, and someone tries to shame you in that way sexually. And rather than just coming forward and say, I did her wrong, they cover up, they make it, "Oh, the feminists are out to get me." Well, maybe if you start acting like a mature adult and start drugging women, no one would be saying anything against you. But see, your popularity goes to your head. It seems like what's happening, that when the lust for fame and money that comes with it, you feel like you're God, and you feel invincible, and you overstep your boundaries. Like maybe you have a lot of female fans, but then you start to disrespect them and objectify them because yes, there are women that these K-pop stars, the women, you know, fall in love with these dudes or what they think these dudes are all about. But it's just an illusion. It goes to some of these guys' heads, and they think that every woman wants them, and they have a false sense of power and they want to abuse their power. See, they're not real men, they're insecure men. They're insecure. If someone really wanted you, there'd be no need to drug these victims. But they're being drugged. They're being selected even beforehand. These women just enter the club. And the so called VIPs that are also there, along with the K pop stars, are selected ahead of time. So we're going to get that woman, that woman, that woman. And they showed videos of them forcing drugs on these women and them passing out. Men or individuals that do that are losers in my eyes. You're a loser. K-pop trash, just like you got Diddy trash. You know, and I was in the military. I was in the Navy. You know, it's funny the word Diddy. There's a Diddy bag in the Navy. There's a term called a Diddy bag, if I remember right. A Diddy bag is a laundry bag where you keep your dirty laundry. Yeah, Diddy trash. Yeah, yeah, a Diddy bag, a Diddy trash. You know, you have trashy people out there. You have people who want to feel all powerful. And rather than they using their fame to make a world an even better place, a safer place, they abuse it. They abuse the trust that people have for them. Because, see, these performers, K pop stars, actors, all these, celebrities, that they're given like a godlike status. And it goes to their head, and they do unthinkable things. It's like they find victims. And I wonder whether like a virus gets into these criminals, this criminal element. It's like a frenzy. It's like they're gathering energy. That like these when you get inebriated. I think these entities get in are allowed access to the body. Everything has to do with energy, and when your body gets arrested, so to speak, from these chemical substances, I believe entities enter. It enters the person that's doing the violation and the one that's been assaulted, and they just can't seem to stop it. It's like a possession. I think it does not give. I'm not saying this for an excuse, no. But I'm just saying that I think that there's a phenomenon that's happening that that is encouraging an addiction. I think addictions like this, there are sex addictions, and they can't stop their behavior. And it's like something living inside of them, driving them also to do acts of wickedness. But they're already wicked to start off with. The fact that it went in their mind to do such evil, to get somebody drunk or put a Mickey in their drink. Such an evil, this MOLKA. And so looking at these Korean, the pop, K-pop stars, it's such a foreign world to me. I mean, they have like a Chinatown, Koreatown in New York City. I remember, like, these districts, they have a lot of shopping, boy, a lot of commerce. Yeah, and so sometimes I would go there, and sometimes the little shops. I like supermarkets because I'm fascinated with international food. I've always been interested in other cultures and see how other people live. And I remember they have a TV set and I guess a video of these what they call the K-pop stars, um, It'd be packed. The arena would be packed with people, and it's like a new world. And they had the makeup on perfect and everything, and they're dancing. They look happy, and I thought they weren't happy. Well, behind the scenes, it's a facade, and it's to allure you into the scene of this MOLKA. It puts you in a hypnosis almost, that wow, this godhood status. And you're watching your famous K-pop star, or let's say in America, you're watching your hip hop stars. And you notice now that the media, the type of videos that they make with the music scene, it's really elevated, and it's so alluring, and it seduces especially women to be attracted to these musicians. And what's awaiting these women is MOLKA, MOLKA, MOLKA. MOLKA is being used. MOLKA is to put drug women, usually through a drink, get them drunk, and or they put uh, a pill, a drug is called date, RAPE, drug, and it makes you forget. But you might wake up in the act of it happening to you, and you're in shock. And they take videos, and then they blackmail you. They blackmail them. And unfortunately, with this documentary I was just watching, a person came forward, a lady. She came forward and she talked to the reporter, the female reporter, who was being trashed and called a feminist, and other, she was being harassed and had two miscarriages. This reporter, young lady, comes forward and shares with her about the alleged culprit, and that rehashed the investigation against that famous K-pop star. Well, he gets arrested, and there was a police officer that did the cover up too, and other people, and he just got a couple of months. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. They hardly got any time. I think the police officer didn't get any time. He got acquitted, and the K-pop star hardly any time. But in the process, the person who had um, shared with the reporter, she commits, she unalived herself. That young lady unalived herself. Wow, the shame that happens to some of these women who come forward. Yeah, in Asia, the the act of unaliving yourself is also part of your culture. Yeah, yeah. The people in Asia, East Asia especially, that I'm referring to East Asia, they're very sensitive, like myself. I've met people. Yeah, I met people from Japan. Yeah, Japanese are very sensitive people. Yep, when they grieve deeply, and they have it in their culture to unalive themselves. I'm so sad to hear that. Yeah, I also lived in Hawaii. There are a lot of Asians in Hawaii. Yeah, I think the largest population in Hawaii are Asians. So I met a lot of people from East Asia, Southeast Asia, and yeah, yeah, the Japanese are very sensitive, more sensitive than I am. They are more sensitive than I am, and it's very sad. Um, yeah, ladies, I feel your pain. You thought you're looking at these, you're being seduced by these performers and the videos, and it's to entrap you, and then it gets too late. You get compromised, you get drugged, and then your face is put out publicly to shame you. Shame on those culprits, those evil people who victimize women, who are not true men, because a true man doesn't have to put a chemical in your food or your beverage so that you get incapacitated, so they can assault you. Shame goes on those men who are boys at heart, boys who are evil. I wonder why. It's just, yeah, I take it personal. I take it personal when these guys violate. Yeah, it's a RAPE culture. And I remember being in the military. Yeah, the people, I went to a club in the military, and I stopped going. Yeah, I wasn't really into clubbing, but yes, I've gone to a club in my 20s. And I stopped going in the military when it was on base for enlistees, and they would get drunk. Some of the men would get drunk. They had alcohol, and the alcohol made them violent. And I remember I was on the dance floor, and I was dancing, and my earring falls off. And I said, "Oh my God, my earring!" And this guy is in front of me, and he has this rage look in his eyes, and he starts stomping on the ground to break my earring. Yeah, men who force themselves at your table. You're by yourself, and they force themselves, and they have a hunger, boy. Yeah, this alcohol creates a monster, and they try to harass you, the guys, and if they don't get um, sex from you, you know, they get angry and they want to trash you. And some of them, these guys, will want to shame you on base. They spread rumors. They spread rumors. They spread rumors against the women. That's oh, I got her, and right? Shame on you guys. Shame on you. You know. Yeah. What's that? What goes around comes around. You reap what you sow. Yeah. Stop doing the evil out there. There's no reason, um, to do this against what they call the weaker sex. And for you to do it to someone who's weaker than you, shows how weak you are. It shows how weak and insecure you are, that you need to drug a woman to commit an act of MOLKA against a woman. Yeah. Yeah, it's like in the age of truth that things are coming out. But after the documentary that I just watched, they're saying that it still continues. That in these clubs, women are still being violated. Women, stop the insanity by these drinks. Do not drink alcohol. Do not drink from these dudes. Any dude's gonna force you to drink beer or There's a reason why they do it. Even back when I was growing up as a young person, when they try to force you to do something, it's a reason. It's a reason. It's a reason why, because they're fucking cowards and they want to incapacitate you so they could harm you. I don't like alcohol. anymore. I was never into, like, I've drank alcohol before, but I saw that it doesn't add to you. It only takes away from your life. Alcohol. Um, it 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 opens up a gateway to hell if you're female. And these dudes that drink alcohol, it makes them uninhibited to do acts of violence. And yeah, I stopped drink. I haven't drank in years. I think my last sip of alcohol was in 2018. So that's 7 years ago. But even prior to that, I drank at a wedding. But prior to that, I, I, I didn't want alcohol around me. Um, I saw growing up, unfortunately, I grew up where this person was abusing alcohol, and I lived in fear as a child. Yeah, alcohol is a gateway to evil, in my opinion. Yeah, there are people who can drink responsibly, but it can open up a can of worms. It opens up a portal in some people, and it has them do wickedness. And some of them might say, "Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember doing that." Um, it's no excuse because they know that they do it because they don't want to remember. So they have the excuse. Don't do alcohol. Don't drink. Don't drink. Don't drink outside. I mean, if you want to drink in the privacy of your own home by yourself, but when you drink in public, you drink at you're a young woman and you drink at a club, don't do it. They can drag you out. Some of these people, women were dragged out by force. They got incapacitated and the men grabbed them. And they make videos. They make videos about the assault and then they blackmail you. They blackmail you and your reputation. And some of these ladies, like in the documentary I just saw, unalived herself. Yeah, let's stop this. There is such an evil on this planet. It's going to implode on itself. I see that happening. I see this happening, people. This act of evil that's happening. And it's using this culture, this video, information age culture to harm you, to harm. It's a takeover. It is a takeover. It's a takeover to harm you. To, I think it's like a virus. They do things to get you in compromised position. It's like a virus. I mean, I think, I'm trying to think, again, it's no excuse. But like, I think these chemicals are created to serve the unseen. There's an unseen, there's an unseen world. There is an unseen world out there. And I think that it's feeding them. This unseen world of some people might call it the supernatural, but there's different dimensions. And drinking opens up portals. It opens up this doorway where these um, entities from other dimensions get in and destroy you. Look at these people who do substances. Look at them look at them. I think they're being housed with these entities in them. And it's a way how they feed off of humanity. or like in the movie The Matrix, they too was feeding these entities. These entities are feeding off of your emotions. It feeds off of the emotion. Like alcohol puts you at a lower energy state, and they rely on these lower energy states, these entities, to enter into your body, so that they can work within your body, like you are the host to these entities that enter your body for you to do acts of violence, sexual aggression against another party. And that's also where the music, um, what do you call it? Music field uses the music field promotes drug use, alcohol, and then the music, the energy of the music for you to dance into that. Yeah, they're relying on that low energy frequency. Some music, and I remember growing up, certain music, like a lot of the, I'm not, I'm just gonna say, a lot of the music back in the 1970s, early 70s, um, in my case, the black community, the music that was being pushed in the black community, it had a negative, in my opinion, a negative energy frequency. And again, I'm a sensitive female. I was always a sensitive child, and I never liked listening to it. It's something that just pulled you down, and so that's why I didn't like it. I didn't want to watch it, listen to it. But I think the music industry, that's the word, the music industry relied on this music to drive populations into certain behavior, to feed these entities that rely on this low energy frequency when you're under the influence of these drugs, and eventually you get used up. Eventually you as the host gets used up, and you many times you pass away, or sometimes you take it, do an overdose. you know let's stop this wickedness that's happening in the world. Let's stop this abuse of these substances that don't add to your life. It gets you addicted and you become paupers, and then you become a criminal, a thief to support your habits. See how it's a network of chaos. It's a cesspool that's just going down, down, down. That's what it's been used for. Feeding, wow, it's just coming to, yeah, it's to feed these entities. It's to feed these low energy entities. It's killing our world. Yeah, I was hearing, yeah, notice, I heard recently about this, I know I'm kind of getting off the topic, but I think it's for, some of these leaders, um, and these leaders that are serving I mean, these people that are serving in high government positions, it's coming out that some of them drugs, and that this Elon allegedly, and I kind of like, it would fit. Is that what's happening? They get compromised and they're forced to do certain things in government because they too are compromised. And allegedly, Trump was on this list. But I kind of don't believe that about Trump and on the Epstein list. Because see, if Trump was on this Epstein list, his political enemies would ensure that they would get that information and make it public, and he would not have won office. Yeah, people were angry at. what Epstein allegedly did. Yep, yep. So if he's on a list, yes, they knew of each other. Of course, they knew each other. But just because someone is in a photo with you, let me tell you, yeah, be careful. This other warning, ladies especially. Be careful who you photograph with. Be careful. People say, "Oh, can I do a selfie with you? Oh, can I do?" And you don't want to say no because if you say no, they're going to call you a bitch, right? They're going to call you that word. But maybe it'll save your life and save your reputation that you want to protect. That they get you in a photo with somebody that you don't even know, and they make it look like, oh, your best buddies. You don't even know each other. You just so happen to be at the same venue, and a reporter or photographer comes. Oh, can we just take a picture together? Oh, two celebrities, and then it was innocent. And so this Trump, it did come out that this Epstein, that he allegedly did something inappropriate to a young girl at Trump's Mar-a-Lago place, and the parents of the girl went to Trump, and Trump then took it on his hands and said to Epstein that you are no longer allowed ever in our club. So that's a good thing, and that was noted before the election that he had done this. He protected somebody upon him finding out the parents that were attended the club, found out we're having a daughter, and had Trump take action. So Epstein was barred from Mar-a-Lago. So why would they then, this Elon, say something and implying, he was implying, when you say he's on the Epstein files or list, what are you implying? Shame on you, Elon. Shame on you for doing that. It's tacky. See that how life is right now. These entities are. Yeah, I think that I'm wondering whether that individual. I do not trust Elon, and I said it before months ago, last year. I don't trust him. Yeah, he came out, was that November of 2024, something around that time. It's just before, maybe it's a month before the election. So that's like so maybe it's October. It's like a month before the election, and he comes on and on board the Trump train, and I said I don't trust him. I don't. I did not trust his, what do you call, the dark MAGA. What darkness you talking about? Why would that? Why would you throw that out there like that? Dark MAGA. What does that have to do with, because most of the people who are supporters of Trump are conservatives and not into this dark whatever what he is. And I knew this guy is trouble. I just get a bad feeling about him. Even before he said the word dark MAGA, I just said something about him. And yeah, throwing out there like that to if so, let's just say he knew something. Let's say he's telling the truth that he saw something. So why didn't he come forward and say, "Hey, I'm doing this investigation on the Dogi, and you did such and such." See, that would have been honorable. That would have. But because that he does, that he's not getting a particular thing, so he's gonna poo-poo. I never trusted. I don't trust him. I don't trust Elon. I don't trust his endeavors. I mean, see, people say, "Oh, brilliant, brilliant." Yeah, someone could be brilliant, but they can be brilliantly evil. Some individuals out there are brilliant, but brilliantly evil. They have the mindset or the cleverness to do acts of evil upon others to get their will. And some people, in the case of MOLKA, and that's done in K-pop, MOLKA, to violate somebody. And they're usually unaware what's happening because they were drugged. And being done in America with the alleged Diddy. Diddy's on trial for what? MOLKA. The same thing, but they call it different. Yeah, see, Korea has a name for it. But yeah, it's being done in America. This energy that is just pervasive, and our planet is going downhill through this depravity, this sinister behavior. It has to stop. It has to stop. Ladies, educate one another. Try to, at least use the buddy system. Do not drink, you know, if you're going to drink, you hold that drink, you know, you make sure it's something that, like sometimes what we learned about with the Diddy, Diddy, allegedly Diddy, they some of these drinks, they get a hypodermic needle and they'll insert they have the cork on the champagne, whatever, and they insert it through the cork and they dispense the chemical inside the champagne. And anytime someone says, "Oh, this is a drink for ladies," they're not trying to impress you. "Oh, this is a ladies' drink." I remember this creepy guy in the Navy said, "Oh, a ladies' drink." Yeah, he was a weirdo. I found out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You people, you'd be surprised. Yeah, I remember being in the military, and I told this. He was my superior. Yeah, he was transferred into my department the last 6 months I was in the military. And I told him, I can't go out with you. I said, you're my superior, you're a senior to me. I can't go out with you. I put it up front. And I remember he got upset because he did ask me out. I said, I can't do that. He got angry. He started to mistreat me. Yep. And then I went on vacation after that. Yeah, I said, I can't take this pressure. Yeah. Yeah, it's just something. And then he came around. He mellowed out after I came back from vacation. Yeah, he transferred out. Yeah, that's right. He transferred out of the department. He couldn't. He didn't want to be alone with those whites. He was a black dude. He was senior. He was old. He was like in his 40s, and I was in my 20s. And yeah, he's old school. And yeah, I remember him. Oops, sorry, the screen just went black. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I keep forgetting. Yeah, so some of these things happen. It happens in the military. This, they want to take you out. Yeah, oh, the ladies drink. I remember he said something like that. Yeah, when I was being processed out of the military, so since you're leaving, oh yeah, I would like to take you out. But yeah, and I should have done that. Um, yeah, he had like a hidden life. Yeah, he was a real quiet dude. Everybody liked him. Yeah, be careful. Some of these dudes that everybody like are sinister. They have another life. And I remember that I spoke to on the phone once um, when I was being processed out, and on the other end of the line, it was a woman cursing him out. Oh man, yeah. He didn't say that he was living with a woman. You hear the lady in the background say, "Get out of my house! Get out of here! You blah, 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 blah." Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah. It could be any type. The perpetrator could be of any race, any religion, any nationality. Could be anybody, and sometimes the most unexpected person. Yeah, I mean, um, I did not know that aspect. Oh yeah, I didn't know about that. Yeah, he hid that. He hid that he was in a relationship. Yeah, because I he didn't like that I said no, and to get away from. I went on vacation to get away. Thought things would simmer down, and then eventually I was to be processed out of the military, and heard of me coming back, and he got in contact with me. Yeah, but some of these people, yeah, don't be around. Don't be alone with them. Don't go in a dark movie theater with them either. Don't do it, ladies. Don't do it. Don't do it. They are people out there who they'll take any opportunity to dishonor you. Yeah. Um, so yeah, be wise when you go out there, ladies. Yes, we tend to be emotional ladies, and we like our pop stars, rock stars, hip hop stars, reggae star. But ladies, let's try to use our head, have a buddy system, and make a promise to one another that if you go there together, you go back home together, and make sure you have adequate money to get home. If somehow you get separated from your buddy, um, maybe on these phones it might have like a panic button or something like that. Ah, don't drink from anybody. Not even water. They could put it in your water, or they put it in your juice. They could put in the juice. Yeah, that's another biggie that turned out with the Diddy investigation, that they were putting in the juice. So he said, "Oh, I didn't take alcohol." So he said, "Okay. We got some juice. You want some juice?" And they poured the juice in their glass, and it masks over the chemicals that they put in that juice. They drug you. They film you being done horrific things, and then they market it. They blackmail people. Yeah, this is a sinister thing out there. Yeah. Please wise up, ladies. I mean, it seems like, yeah, I'm in my 60s now, and life has not gotten better. That what happens 40 years ago, 40 plus years ago, is happening now in 2025. Wise up, ladies. Wise up, men, too. They're doing men also, putting drugs in their drink. You got weirdos out there of all types. Let's wise up. Let's become rational people. Let's become godly. Let's put away this foolish behavior. Let us become a godly, spiritual people and planet. If we don't, we will disappear spiritually. Okay? Let's stop this disgusting behavior. Let's elevate spiritually. Okay? Yeah, I see I'm on here for an hour and 19 minutes. So I said what I have to say, and peace and love to you all, people. Peace and love to you all. Safety. And thank you, those individuals who spoke out with regard to the K pop cultural scene of this MOLKA of evil. And let's also thank people speaking out at the Diddy trial that's happening in America, and exposing the evil of this music industry. Okay, this is Spirit Journey signing out. Bye bye.